Have you ever wanted to guest on a podcast like this one that you're listening to right now? Well, you can. You can definitely do this by visiting a website called Podmatch, where you can sign up and be available for all different types of podcasts that you can guest on. Or you can even search for a podcast and say, I want to guest on your podcast. I think we'd be a good match. So if you want to do this, you can go to our unique link, which is joinpodmatch.com/reality, and you can sign up and do exactly that. And you can find us and you can guest on our podcast. So again, that unique link is www.joinpodmatch.com. That's joinpodmatch.com/reality, REALITEA, and you can be a guest on our podcast. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I am Tanika, and today we're going to be talking about The Other Way. Now, I know this is late. Unfortunately, work got in the way, life got in the way, and now I also have a medical situation that also got in the way, because I would be starting this on one day and probably finishing this on another day. Anyways, so that's what's going on. I still really want to talk about this episode though, mainly because of Daniele and Yohan. This is the scene we've been waiting for. So I wanted to really stick around for this episode. So before we hop into the episode, I do have some hot goss. Memes have already been posted to the social media accounts, so I'm not going to read them here. You can definitely go take a look at them over there. Well, my first hot goss is that reality TV stars Giannina from Love is Blind and Blake Hortzman from Bachelorette, I believe he was on Becca's season. They're a couple, as we all kind of know already, and they are expecting their first baby together, which is so sweet. Giannina says that so far pregnancy has been a dream. She says she's had zero sickness. Girl, I love you, but no. She says I've been able to travel, and all I want to eat is fruit. So that's great. I have some photos of the couple doing their pregnancy shoot for People magazine, so I will be posting those photos on our social media as well. Next, now I've been following this now for a few days, so I wasn't talking about this obviously because I haven't been podcasting on anything that I actually would do my hot goss on. So I've been following this for a bit, so we're going to go through the journey. First thing I saw was a post from Johnny Yates, who I don't fully trust, but anyways, he always seems to say the things that are correct anyways, but I was following him and I could see that our queen Darcy had potentially gotten married to Georgie. What the fuck? So that happened, and Johnny Yates posted, as just discussed on his exclusive YouTube live, these pictures were taken from Darcy and Georgie's alleged wedding on Saturday, November 11th, 2023. 11/11. Back in September, they posted 11/11. Hashtag 11/11. When they got back together. The fuck? So wait. They've only been together since September? And they got married 2 months later? He goes on to say, John Yates goes on to say, from what I hear, they were married in their home in Connecticut to a very intimate guest list of 20 people. I wish them all the happiness in the world. I'll post this post on our socials as well. So yeah, I saw this and I'm thinking, oh no. And then I saw the post from Darcy herself. And it reads, well, it's actually from TLC. And TLC says, congratulations to the newlyweds Darcy and Georgie. Here's what she has to say about their big day. Quote, I'm thrilled to share that Georgie and I got married on our special day of November 11th. Their special day? Their special... I've been on a long journey to find love, and in the end, love wins. I'm so blessed for you all to be part of my journey in life, love, and happiness. I'll also post this on our social media as well. I'm sure a lot of us have already seen it, but I will be posting that as well. But since we're on the Darcy Silva sister train here, there's a rumor going around that I don't particularly like and is giving me anxiety. And that is that there is bad news. This was posted actually by Mary Pants, I think on their Instagram account. And it says, allegedly the network declined to film the wedding for TV. So we won't be seeing it in an upcoming future show. Their show, Darcy and Stacey, was canceled this past summer. It will not be coming back for a season 5. So sad. It goes on to say, sources close to the situation have told this person, Mary Pants, that when Darcy got wind of Tom's upcoming wedding plans, okay, he's been engaged to that chick for a really long time. Let's continue. She started putting in calls to cast members, his friends, and producers to find out all the details. Why? Why? They've been broken up for a really long time. It's apparently common knowledge in her circle that Tom is the one that got away, and Darcy expected him to come back to her one day. What? What do you mean he's the one that got away? Honey, he literally sat there and said to you, you've gained weight. Like, are you kidding me? He should have gotten away. Are you kidding? He's the one that gone away? He tried to come back. Here's the thing. Here's why I'm doing... If this is true, which I can't put it past Darcy, but if this is true, it's like, okay, but wait, he did try. He came to your fucking home with a letter that you didn't even read. He also met up with Stacey to talk about everything, which was kept under wraps because he would have freaked out. What the fuck? He did try, I think, to some extent, try to maybe mend fences, if at the very least. I don't understand. Anyway, when she got confirmation that indeed Tom and Mariah, his girlfriend who he's been with 4 years, had walked down the aisle, congratulations to them. I didn't even know that because I don't care. It set Darcy into motion to plan her own wedding. You mean the fact that Stacey has been married all this time and she herself has not been isn't the issue? But Tom getting married to his girlfriend was? Sounds about right. In just a few days, everything was put into place. And as we saw from an earlier post, as I discussed, she did request that most of the professionals, photographer involved, provide services for free. And if not, they just may do without it. I wish them all the best on their marriage, and Daddy Silva must be going absolutely apeshit. So So that's that. On that, I'll be posting everything that I just discussed on our social media. Everything, including Giannina and Blake's baby and Darcy wedding to Rose Oil, Georgie. That's it. So I'm going to do a quick insert here before we hop into the episode of announcements. So a few different things going on. As mentioned in the top of the episode, because I've had a little bit of a delay with getting episodes done this week due to having to go into the office when I usually don't go into the office on a Friday. Life kind of got in the way. I'm recording this on a Sunday, so life kind of getting in the way on Saturday, so I wasn't able to record much, if anything. And now I also have a medical situation. Pretty sure I have an eye infection currently. So that means there's a little bit of a delay with getting stuff done. So with that said, there's also been a little bit of just hecticness with getting certain episodes recorded. So Golden Bachelor is going to be late. We do have a week reprieve, so you'll definitely get the episode prior to the next episode coming out. So you will get that, but it probably won't be, depending on what happens, haven't fully decided what my week is going to be looking like in terms of being in the office or staying home with what's going on currently with me. So you might get Golden Bachelor in the middle of the week and too late into the week. We'll see. Family Shondell is going to be late, and it could end up being a solo recording with just me. Kind of been a lot happening on Letitia's end this week, so it might just be me, but that is still up in the air currently as I'm recording this. So we might have her on. We'll see what happens with Family Chantel, but that will be late. But we will work on trying to get that to you as soon as possible. It might just have to be after the next episode airs. We'll see. So there's that. Selling Sunset. Selling Sunset is now currently complete, and I'm only on episode. We still have episodes 7 to 11 to cover. So that is going to be late as well. I'm hoping to have episodes to you. We did last week, Monday and Friday. Unfortunately, that is probably only going to be an episode for Selling Sunset on Friday. Maybe we'll get one out to you on the weekend as well. We'll see. So that's kind of happening with Selling Sunset. But again, as mentioned previously, we're hoping to kind of ride this out throughout the month with Selling Sunset. Next surprise, Bachelor in Paradise, episode 4 will be dropped. I know this is kind of old stuff now, and we're ahead of all of that, but I still really want to talk about the episodes. So Bachelor in Paradise will be coming to you very soon. And that is episode 4. I'm halfway through episode 5, but that will probably be late as well. So we'll get that to you very, very soon. So that's what you'll be getting. F-Boy Island is also going to be late for this week. So you'll probably get both episodes at once. I'm actually not even sure if F-Boy Island is playing this week with the American Thanksgiving. I'm unsure. I'm assuming also Bachelor in Paradise this week will not be playing. So yeah, that's basically what's happening. So you'll be getting F-Boy Island from last week late, and it probably be at the same time or roughly the same time as the current episode that will be airing this week. So those are the announcements. Next Take Podcast, episode 12, which you'll be getting in about 2 weeks, roughly 2 weeks, is going to be covering a conversation on the background of the new mansion tax that is being covered in Selling Sunset. I did say we were going to do it, So it's over there. So anyone that's interested in listening to that, look out for episode 12 of Next Take Podcast, where I will be discussing the mansion tax. Full disclosure, that episode is a solo episode. But anyways, that is what's going to be happening. So you can hop on over there and get a little more background as to the mansion tax and why. So that's what's happening over there. So I thought I'd put that out there. And last but not least for announcements is the hiatus. So again, the month hiatus will be starting on December 7th until January 7th at the earliest. So you probably be getting stuff after the fact. Anyways, maybe you'll get episodes to you after as well, while during the hiatus, but I just won't be recording. I haven't fully decided how I'm handling that. The biggest thing is recording and editing. That all needs to be done, but you'll potentially get stuff during the hiatus, but that's basically what's going to happen. So that's what's happening. Those episodes that you'll be getting prior to the hiatus will be 90 Day OG, Toe, Golden Bachelor, F-Boy Island if it's still on, and Family Chantel. Those are the episodes that you'll be getting prior to the hiatus. The Family Chantel episode will most definitely be a solo episode. Sister Rise, if it's still going, you'll also get that as well. So that's what's happening with that. The last episode of Golden Bachelor, we will have Meryl, who is on our episode 4. So she will be on the final episode, and we'll discuss everything with that. So yeah, that's what's happening. And also with Next Take Podcast, we will be on a hiatus from the week of the 18th until the new year. We will be back with an episode for January 18th. So that's what's happening over there. And that's it for the announcements. Let's jump into the reason that we are here. Toe, Season 5, Episode 19. Owing Pains instead of Growing Pains. TJ and Kim. So they have been married now for a couple of days, and he is slowly moving his stuff upstairs. They are going to be meeting with Yash and his mom to be going over the household duties that Kim would be responsible for. This has been going good with the family, Kim says. So they are now in the meeting, and Mom says, listen, you're going to have to get up pretty early, like 6 or 6:30 in the morning to start cleaning. No dirty dishes overnight, which is something my household definitely goes by. Why do that? But Kim doesn't really like dealing with dirty dishes. She says it makes her sick. Kind of the equivalent of me cleaning other people's bathrooms. I couldn't do it. But I mean, I guess I understand only because when I see other people's dirty dishes, like at work, it literally makes me sick to my stomach. So I do understand that. But this is your family, your new family, anyways. And maybe just try, you know. Or like if she's feeding herself and TJ 9 times out of 10, then you guys swap spit anyways, like whatever. So they say, okay, what about sweeping? We can manage that, right? So they go on to say that she will be managing her and TJ's food. So yeah. And she says that she is open about learning Indian dishes that TJ likes. So she's open to that too. So then they go back upstairs, her and TJ, and she says, I did ask you everything in terms of like what would be expected of me after the wedding, and you told me not to worry about it. You lied. And she's being very calm actually in this moment. And he says, yeah, I know. I felt like my mom could better explain this because he kind of initially is like, yeah, I'll see, words are forming out of my mouth at this moment because he knows he fucked up. And he's like, my mom could better explain it than I could. And she's like, how, and again, I also agree with this. How hard is it to just say, you are required to be attending wife school and you're going to be going through all the things you need to go through, and give her all of the shit up front. And then maybe it wouldn't have been so bad later on. Because I think what his mom is saying is pretty reasonable. So I mean, except for getting up early, that's not reasonable if you don't have to. But otherwise, I don't see the issue with what's being told. Anyway, she says, like, I would just rather know everything up front so I could plan. And I think that's also fair. So Yash is now helping with setting up their apartment upstairs. He's kind of setting up like this temple that they have to have at the apartment, which I think is for Ganesha. And his mom comes upstairs. TJ leaves and says, you need to be around my family without me. So he leaves. Mom comes upstairs and they're going to bless the home. Well, guess what, guys? Their idea of blessing the home is to burn cow dung. Steaming pile of cow dung. Not figuratively speaking. If you know, you know. I'm not even going to say what movie that's from. If you know, you know. So yeah, I'm just like, what the fuck? So they're literally burning a steaming pile of cow dung in the kitchen. And she's like, what the fuck? And the reason for this is because cows are seen as gods. Obviously, we know this in the culture, so this is why they're doing it. And then mom says to Yash, sprinkle some cow urine around the door frames. So Yash does say to Kimberly, I'm sprinkling some cow urine around the door frame. She's like, well, no. Why? And she's freaking out here. She's like, listen, I respect his culture. I love to learn about his culture. This is a stretch. Like, she doesn't want to be dealing with this by any means. And yeah, she's just like, what the fuck is happening? I don't want to do, like, but no. Then it gets worse. Before they start cooking, mom wipes up the cow dung on the counter, then takes the fucking cloth and wipes the dishes with the same fucking cloth. And all you see, Kimberly's like, you're using that same cloth? And she's like, it's clean. And mom says it's clean. No, it's not. It's not fucking clean anymore. It has fucking cow shit on it. And she's like, and all you see, it's like in a movie, all you see Kimberly starts like, TJ. So she calls TJ over and she says, she just wiped the counter with cow dung on it and then wiped the pot with the same cloth. And TJ goes to his mom and he's like, did you just do that? And she's like, yeah, it's clean. She just wants to start drama, mom says. And he's like, but she's right. That's disgusting. Why would you do that? Thank you. That's fucking that. This is why you don't eat other people's houses. You know what the fuck they're doing. I mean, listen, the cow dung thing, not me, not for me, not I. But I understand that it's cultural, fine. But then the fact that you take the fucking cloth and then wipe the same thing with the pot, it's just, no. This is why I don't eat other people's houses. It's disgusting. So gross. Ew. But she says, listen, Kimberly says, the cow dung, the cow piss in my apartment, not gonna happen again. She's like, I want to be able to know ahead of time. So she could have stopped it. And she's like, it's not going to happen again. There are different ways to bless my home, and it's not like that. It's not going to happen again. And that's her right. That's her home. She doesn't want cow dung in her home. She doesn't have to have cow dung or cow urine in her home. You can do that downstairs in your kitchen. But anyway, that is it for Kimberly and TJ. So next, Brandan and Mary. So we see her sitting at the church by herself, and she tells us that they are supposed to be getting married the next day. But then they got into a huge fight over money. And she feels very stressed about this because it's always her having to deal with their money situation and their debt, which I'm like, welcome to being in a relationship. One of you are going to have to deal with it. But I do understand what she means, like working, like he's not doing shit. So she says at this point she is 50-50 on marrying Brandan. Then we see his mom, Angela, come and talk to Mary. And Angela explains to us that she doesn't really know exactly what happened because she was sleeping, but Brandan explained some things to her that happened. So Mary explains to Angela that I think it was her Lola, told her that the electrical bill was due, and her and Brandan talked about it, and they got into an argument. She says all he wants to do is play his video games all the time. And Angela says, I will talk to him about the video games because it's always been that way. He always wants to play his video games. Now, here's what I'm going to say, just as a person who's kind of seen this kind of firsthand. I could say partially it's the addiction to the video games, his love for the video game, that makes him play the video game. But I can also see that it is potentially depression that is holding him to those video games. It's his escape from what's going on. So, yeah, I don't know. That's what I think. Anyway, she does say that she kind of wished that Brandan had a little more of a plan, and that was kind of part of her reason for being kind of unsure of his move to the Philippines. She doesn't admit the other was because of the control and everything. And Angela says, he really needed to have a plan in place, maybe more money in place, which is 100% true. He was making money. Why the fuck wouldn't he have planned better? Or why didn't he sponsor her to the States? It wasn't like he wasn't making enough money. So why didn't that happen? And so we kind of know that he was making $60K a year. You don't even need $60K a year to sponsor somebody. At least here in Canada, the minimum is like maybe 28, maybe 30, don't quote me. But I'm pretty sure like you just have to have that bare minimum. I was able to sponsor my ex-husband. I was approved to sponsor him. He didn't come for other reasons. Had nothing to do with me. He fucked up his interview. I think I've mentioned that. But I was able to sponsor him. And at the time, I was making peanuts. I was making easily half of what Brandan was making. So I'm just like, if I could sponsor him without a co-sponsor, then he would have been able to. So I don't know if Mary wanted to stick around because of her grandparents. So that could be why she just say to her, listen, the person that you marry is someone that you can't picture not having in your life. So can you picture not having Brandan in your life? And she says no, she can't picture that. She says all she wants is just reassurance that they can make it, and make it in the sense of every aspect of what you need to make it. And Angela does think that he will step up. We'll see. And she says that she will talk to him. Mary does apologize to Angela for overthinking everything when he wasn't there, which then in turn put a strain on his relationship with his mother. I was shocked that she apologized, but that is really good. I'm very proud of her for apologizing for that, because that means that she recognizes her part in that, which is really great. Angela says, yes, it did, but I think you will be a great mom, and you definitely have the potential to be a great wife. So they get up and they leave, and Mary thanks her for the good advice that she got. So we'll see how this goes, but that's it for Brandan and Mary for this week. Do you want to spice up your love life? Well, you can make that happen by going to Love Shop, where you can get sorts of different things, whether it's for both you and your partner or just for yourself. For solo play, you can get things, all types of vibrators, maybe more kinky type toys, or you can just buy what every person may need, like lingerie or protection, or even just something to make it a little more fun, like games or novelty things. You can do all of this by going to Love Shop, and you can use our unique coupon code RealityT2 to get 10% on anything your hearts desire. So that's loveshop.ca, loveshop.ca, and use our unique coupon code REALITY2. That's REALITEA and the number 2. So next, Sarper and Shekinah. So he's meeting with his parents. We find out that she met his parents the day before. We didn't actually get to see this. So, yeah. Anyway, they mention, his parents, that they haven't met his girlfriends before. So that's a big deal. Yeah, because he hasn't had girlfriends. He's had things. Anyway, he says that he was sad today because he wants kids and she doesn't. Mom says that she would love to have a grandchild. And then his father says, pregnancy, it is, oh no, sorry, before we get into that, I'm so ahead because I'm just so mad by it. His mom says that pregnancy is hard on women, but his dad says, but it's the woman's job. I'm sorry, wait a minute. It is our job to get pregnant. It doesn't matter if we want it or not. The fuck? No wonder he's acting like such an asshole. He gets it from his father. I mean, no. It is not our jobs to be pregnant, especially if we don't want to be. It's something we may want, but in this case, she doesn't want it. So, do I I don't know how genuine his reasons are for wanting to be a father. If it's more about continuing the name, which I do understand is very important in certain cultures. So I'm not taking that away. But if that is the main reason, that's not reason enough for anyone to have a child at 41 when they don't maybe want to have any more kids. So, yeah. But if that is the main reason, it's just not enough. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he wants to have a kid. So if he wants to have a kid, then maybe you need to get somebody else. I don't know. I really don't. But let's continue. He tells them that he was thinking of proposing, but now he's kind of lost the motivation to do so. So the other thing that his parents say is that, like, we think he really just wants to give us grandkids. And I think a lot of us were thinking at the same time, ma'am, sir, he's had 2,500 opportunities to give you a child. The fact that he's had 2,500 opportunities and not one of those times has actually resulted in a child that is a goddamn miracle. I don't, not enough. And I'm sorry, it's to a point in life where you're now in your 40s and you just say, because it's not for me. And just because she's capable of having a child doesn't mean she wants to have a child. Honestly, if I was her and she really truly doesn't want to have a kid, I would be pulling a Yara and getting on some birth control. And guess what? He is not her husband, so she can do whatever the fuck she wants without consulting him first. Or not even so much consulting him first, but giving him a heads up. She doesn't have to tell him shit. Anyway. So now we're going to be going to a Turkish bathhouse, which is, we've seen a few Turkish bathhouses before. And she's hoping that, since he's kind of dropped the kids issue, that he'll continue dropping the kids issue. Hold that thought. So now, at the bathhouse, we're kind of in this kind of like spa pool area. It looks so gorgeous. Anyway, he tells her that his family loves her, but the main issue was those dark-scarred kids. He says they are so eager for a grandchild. Also, now you're going to use your parents to convince her to get pregnant for you. So he wants her to reconsider. And she says, are you just wanting this because your parents are pressuring you? Or, no, honey, it's the patriarchy of it all. That's why he wants to have kids. And carry on the name. And she says, maybe if I tell you what I kind of had to endure with my daughter's father, having to raise her on my own, you will think differently. And he says, but I want to be there and I want to be like involved. No, he won't. No, he won't. He will not be as active a participant in this child's life as she would be. He just wouldn't. Yeah. And again, to make this gross, clearly he wants to carry on the name. So guess what he wants to have? He's gonna want a boy. And if he got a daughter, he probably wouldn't be very thrilled. Let that sink in. Anyway, so he's like, I won't leave my child. And she says, well, her dad said the same thing. And he did the same thing. And he says, we can't do this forever. He says, if you want to see the future, that means kids. And if you don't want to have kids, then go back to your country. Wow. Just wow. he says that this is all karma for the 2,500. And she said, please don't talk about the number in front of me. You know how that makes me feel. Ma'am, it clearly does make you feel anyway, because you're still allowing the man who has dipped his stick in 2,500 women to dip his stick into you. I'm just saying, listen to me. I've had men tell me that they have had sex with 80 women at that time, and that was a long time ago. And I'm like, 80, that's high. Once you've hit like 100 for me, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe with protection. But that's about it. I feel like I just, no. And first of all, I don't even think 2,500 is possible. But anyway, that's besides the point. She says this convo is so fucked up and I'm unsubscribing. And she walks away. I'm unsubscribing to this fucking... Can we have more of his family? Can we have more of that? Because when I see the two of them alone together, I want to pull my hair out. I'm unsubscribing. Anyway, that is it now for Sarper and Shekinah. Let's go into the reason that I am still covering this show for this week with being so far behind. Miserable Bitch and Yohan. Oh, maybe they're both miserable bitches, honestly, to be totally honest with you. They both can get the title. So, it's Christmas time, guys. And we see her dressed as an elf. And she tells us it's been a month since the stealing incident. And they've worked out the kinks and that, and things are okay. He comes out dressed as Santa. And Gizmo also is dressed up, and he looks adorbs. So, yeah, she says that they are going to be helping other people. And they started by creating a toy drive for people like in the States to donate. And this is their idea of helping out those people who are in need. So this was Johan's idea, she says. So then she says, listen, we still need to pick up like 40 more packages, and I'm going to need to pay for January's rent now so that I can use the cash, I guess, to pick up these packages. And he asks, what money? And she says, you said you would pay 75,000 pesos for half of everything in this house. So I need the rent. He is in debt, he says. Welcome to life. I'm also in debt. You'll see me complaining about it. Really. He says that he feels like, she says, you didn't have kind of what you have now. You have a home, you have a car. Well, he doesn't have a car, he rents a car. But nonetheless, you have all these things. So, like, what are you complaining about, kind of? And he says, not once did you tell me I would have to pay 75,000 pesos. That's besides the point. It changes. Learn how to change with it. She says, I paid for everything. Your Zumba classes, we're really arguing over Zumba classes. Maybe instead of paying for the fucking Zumba classes, you gotta use that money for something else. Or get Peloton. They have dance classes there. Yeah. Anyway. And she's like, there's no thank you for the things I've done, blah, blah. And he says, you helped me with nothing. Oof. She says, you just want a car and a house. You don't want a wife. This is true. He definitely doesn't give a shit about the wife. He just wants what he wants. And at this point, she can't provide him what he wants. So she's useless to him. It's basically what it comes down to. At the same time, I have no sympathy for her because she's done this to herself. You chose him. So this is what you get. He then says that the relationship isn't going anywhere, and he says all you want is to you want rent here and rent there, everywhere rent. And she says, okay, well, is this relationship over? And he says, yes. He's not staying there. He's leaving, he says. I mean, listen, personally for me, when I watched the first season with them, Love in Paradise, and found out that these two had only known each other for 5 months and were planning to get married, this was going to happen. I was just waiting for when it was going to happen. And they barely made it a year before this happened, a year of marriage before this happened. And yeah, I'm not surprised by any of it. This is karma. This is a lesson learned. Don't marry a guy with a huge dick in the Dominican Republic and marry him. Because chances are the big dick isn't going to stay around any longer. But basically all, again, I have said that, I feel for her because she's definitely being scammed. But at the same time, she allowed herself to be scammed. So I have no sympathy for that as well. She is still a miserable bitch, let's remember. But yeah, I have no sympathy. I wish you all the best. Maybe. But anyways, that's it for Danielle and Yohan for this week. Kind of smorgasbord I've noticed of an episode because it's very small, bite-sized pieces for each person. But let's hop into next time on. So we see that it's sample specimen time for Kenny and Armando. They're going to be doing their business in order to get a baby. And I guess they're both doing it. And we're going to see a wedding. But guess what, guys? God is apparently coming because we have locusts. I don't know if it's actually locusts, but we see a swarm of locusts. Either it's God or it's Hemotep from the Mummy. One of the two. Love that movie so much. Anyway, so then we see that Wayne says that he wishes that he didn't end up getting married to an American, and she freaks out and she runs away. Again, Sarper continues on asking for kids, and she's confused. Why are you asking for kids? She's like, would you rather the kids over me? And he makes the comment of he doesn't care if she leaves, and that he will take 2 days to get over her and move on. This man does not love her. This is a fake fucking storyline, but this man does not love her. He's over it. He's never loved her. Because if a man can get over you that quickly, he doesn't love you. He just doesn't. Sorry. I mean, full disclosure, with my current relationship, we've had ups and we've had downs in the 6 years that we've known each other. So we've had breakups. And, yeah, he never got over, clearly, because we're together now. But he was always the one that was like, take me back. It could have been a week later, 2 months later, it didn't matter. So for this guy to literally say, I will be done in 2 days. No, that's not love. I don't know what that is. And then we see that Daniele and Yohan are now fighting. He tries to take his clothes that apparently she bought for him. She tells him, no, don't take the clothes that I bought you. So then he takes the dog that he bought her. I don't like it. Man. But, yeah, that's it for The Other Way for this week. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. And you can rate a review on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And I have a new thing that I want to start trying, and that is that every 4 or 5 star review that we get, I'll read it on the podcast. So if you want to hear your review on the podcast, please rate and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're able to rate and review. And if you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to Reality Tea Times 2 on Facebook, Reality Tea Times 2 podcast on Instagram or Threads, Reality Tea Times 2 pod on Twitter. You can also find us on Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 pod. And you can also email us at realityteatimes2@hotmail.com. And don't forget, you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also subscribe, like, comment on there as well. We greatly appreciate that. And don't forget that I do have another podcast with my friend Mikkel called Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different things. We currently have, this number can definitely change, but we currently have about 8 episodes. Roughly, we've talked about all kinds of different things. We have a lot of fun over there. So please go take a listen to us over at Next Take Podcast, which you can find us on YouTube at Next Take Podcast. You can also find us on our website, solo.to/Next Take Podcast. And don't forget, we have a website, and that is at solo.to/Reality Tea Times 2. And we also have a Discord, and I believe that's Reality Tea Times 2 as well. So you can find us there. But that's basically it. That's all the stuff. Of course, everything here that I've just listed will be in our show notes. All discount codes, special links to everything that we put in our ads are also in our show notes. And yeah, that's basically it, guys. Thanks so much. Bye. Have you ever thought of starting your very own podcast? Doing the research, I found something that would have made editing easy and seamless and makes the podcasting experience just that much easier. And I am talking about Ludo. This is a podcast software that I use for our editing of our episodes. It is amazing. It is easy. You're also able to get help from doing chats and getting the information that maybe you just need a little more help with. They also have access to different articles that can also help you that have been just godsends for me. Also with Ludo, you can create clips, you can do your ads, that's like this very one I'm doing right now. And you can create your trailer very seamlessly just by the clicks of buttons. You can also use Alludo to publish your episodes just straight from the software. It's so easy. I highly, highly recommend it. You can get access to Alludo by using our unique link, which you can find on our show notes, just down there at the bottom at the show notes. And you can get access to an easy software